Hello, grade 7. We're going to discuss in this lesson, in this module 2, about the classification of numbers and operations. We are going to also to discuss exponent in this particular topic. So listen carefully because I'm going to discuss the essential part of this particular topic. Let us begin.
Today, we're going to discuss the subsets of real numbers. So before we begin, let us first, what is a numbers? Let's define first, how are we going to differentiate number from numerals? Maybe all of you would say it is the same. But actually, when we say numbers and numerals, diba? Numerals. When we say numbers, actually these are what we call the idea of a particular quantity. While we say numerals, these are actually the symbols to represent idea of a particular quantity, which is called on what we say about that particular things. So in say numerals, ito yung mga symbol ng 7, ganyan, 2, and so on and so forth. While numbers is our idea kung gaano karami, gaano kalaki, o gaano kalawak ang particular na bagay na yan. And also, in this topic, we're going to discuss rational numbers. Numbers. What are rational numbers? When you say rational numbers, these are a ratio of two numbers. Halimbawa nito yung mga fraction, let's say 1 over 2, ganyan, 1 over 3, and so on and so forth. These are actually, when you say rational numbers, this is synonymous to what we call fractions. Now, what about irrational numbers? When you say irrational numbers, So, irrational numbers, these are numbers that cannot be expressed as a ratio of two numbers. These are what we call decimals, that is repeating or non-terminating. Like for example, we have 0.333. Yan. These are kahit gaano kalayo yan, hindi yan magtatapos kasi these are what we call non-terminating. Another one is square root of 2. Yan. These are what we call irrational numbers. Wherein this square root of 2 cannot be expressed as a ratio of two numbers. And most of all, last one is we're going to discuss about integers. Okay. So what are integers? Integers are composed of these are composed of negative numbers, 0, and positive numbers. Okay. So we're going to focus our discussion for today about the integers. Okay. So let us discuss what is actually an integers. Okay. What is an integers in your own idea? An integers, let's say we have a number line like this one. A number line illustrated as this one. So it is a number line. Of course, we're going to say number line. Nasa pagitan yan, sa gitna niyan is yung 0. Then we're going to locate the negative numbers at the left. So this again is here, negative 1. Then negative 2, negative 3, and so on. Kaya merong arrow dyan. Sa right naman, matagpuan natin yung mga positive numbers 1, 2, then 3. So these are, and so on, like for example 4. Yan. So that arrows represent that it's an ending, no? It's stretching from left to right, or right to left, rather. So pag sinabi natin integers, these are numbers composed of negative numbers, 0, and positive numbers. Those are integers. Now, when you talk about integers, papasok yung tinatawag natin, paano nyo malalaman yung tinatawag natin diyang distance between the line, or what we call, in your topic here, we have what we call the absolute value. What is an absolute value of a number? Absolute value. Okay, pag sinabi natin absolute value class, huwag kayong malilito because kasi absolute value, we are actually talking the distance. Yan of a particular point to another point. When you say absolute, let's say sinabi ko, what is the absolute value of negative 3? Of course, that is 3. Say, what is the absolute value of negative 5? The answer is 5. And again, what's the absolute value? What's the absolute value of 10? That is 10. Okay, that is. So, there's no such thing as in absolute value, lahat yan ay positive. Napunan nyo, negative yun nandito, pero yun nandito positive siya. Because we're actually talking about the distance of a particular number in a number line. Yan yung halimbawa niyan. Okay, so sa absolute value, tatandaan ninyo, in absolute value, there's no negative numbers. All of them are positive because we're actually talking about the distance of a number from another number. Okay? Now, what about if we're going to, if I tell you, how are you going to find the midpoint of a line? The midpoint of a line. Okay, again, we're going to draw here a number line. Go to the number line na. So there we're going to discuss the tawag dito, midpoint of a line. The zero yung nandito. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, and negative 5. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Sorry. It's 4, and this is 5. Now, let's say I'm telling you how are you going to find, let's say letter A is negative 3, and B is 1. Okay, yan. So, I'm going to locate my A here in negative 3. This would be your A, and your B would be here, 1. Now, how are you going to find the midpoint of this line? Okay. Titingnan nyo lang yan dito. So, this 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, 5 siya. So, ang formula dito is you're going to add A plus B divided by 2. That's the formula. So, add natin negative 3 plus 1 over 2. So, negative 3 plus 1, alam niyo na mag-add ng integers because in your grade 6 time, you have the integers, di ba? Negative 3 plus 1, it means that kahit negative yan, magma-minus kayo dyan. So, i-minus niyo muna, 3 plus 1, 1 minus 3, that is 2. Di ba? 2. Since yung negative 3 mataas dyan, at ang sign ng negative is negative yung 3 dyan, so ito magiging negative ito. Then, divide both side by 2. Yeah. Then, divide natin, negative 2 divided by 2, that is negative 1. So, ibig sabihin yung midpoint ninyo ay matatagpuan sa negative 1. Ito. This will be your midpoint. Yan. That is your midpoint. Negative 1. Okay? Another one. Let's say, another example, we have, let's say, A is equals to 1. And your B is equals to 5. So this is your 1, it's your A. This is your B. So we're going to find the midpoint between A and B. So all we have to do is to add, that's 1 plus 5 divided by 2. And it will give you 6 divided by 2. And this is 6 over 2 is 3. So ibig sabihin, your midpoint is in number 3. So this is 1, this 1. So, kung itinan nyo mabuti, nasa gitna talaga siya kasi 1 and 2, dalawang points, then 1 and 2, dalawang points. So, that is what we call the midpoint of a particular distance of a number in the number line. Okay, this time we're going to discuss exponent. What is an exponent? In symbol, we have, let's say, x to the n is equals to n. This is an expression of exponential equation. Now, x here is known as what we call base. Then exponent, n here, is what we call exponent. So, exponent. The exponent tells us how many times we're going to multiply base by itself. And n here is what we call the power. That's the power. Now, let's say I have an expression such as this one, 2, yan, and then that is So how are you going to read this? You are going to read this as this one. 2 to the exponent of 5 is equals to 32. Okay. Again, your base is 2. Your exponent is 5. And your power is 32. And another one is, let's say we have here 3 square is equals to 9. Your exponent is 2, your base is 3, and your power is 9. Okay. Now, in case for the numbers 2, yan, yung ganyan, let's say ganyan, pag 2, yung exponent niya, pronounced as squared. Squared. Yan, kaya pag binasam yan, 3 squared. What about this one? 3, they utter as cube. 3 cube. Ganyan. Sabi natin, the exponents tells us how many times we're going to multiply by a base by itself. Let's say, in this case, 3 cube is equals to 3 times 3 times 3. And it will give you 27. Let's say we have here 4 to the 5th. It will give you 4 times 4 times 4 times 4 and times 4. Tinan nyo, 4 yung base, then 5 yung exponent, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it will give you 4, 16, 64, 256, and it will give you what? 256? 256 times 4, I think it will give you 4, that is 4 carry 2, that is 22, 22 carry 2, that's 1024. So that's how are you going to express or to evaluate exponential expression. Okay.